Hello, hello, hello. It Vimbert. We Nuzlockin' once again. Sorry I wasn't around yesterday. Stuff came up that I kind of had to adjust to last minute, which was annoying, but everything is fine. And we back with a little Pokeboomers. So if you weren't able to catch the PvP, I kind of went 1-1 there, mixed results, and in the resulting kind of after show that we call Pokeboomers After Dark, where we play along with members of the community, I promised you, in a little bit of a gentleman's agreement, to, hey, we both hate having to play around Snorlax, so why don't we just both bench him? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. This immediately set in some panic on my part. And this leads to one of the pitfalls that I was worried I might fall into, because we have been doing a little bit of off-stream grinding just to kind of give you guys the quote-unquote good stuff. And unfortunately, as I was grinding up a replacement member of the team for Cuckfanto, my Snorlax, I suffered a KO. So while I don't have footage of that for you guys, I would like to give a brief tribute to the one, the only, Solid Snake the Arbok.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake?
Yeah, so I officially have my second casualty of the run, which really, definitely. I don't think that was long enough to really be that, but yeah, a harsh loss to be sure. It was just like, it happened yesterday and it just got me off on the wrong foot immediately, which just kind of continued through the whole day. But as a result, I still have some changes to make, and fewer good candidates to do so. So, per the gentleman's agreement, I am benching Cuckfanto my Snorlax, and I am going to bring back Drax, the Slowpoke that we caught, and I have trained up to kind of the relevant level, so he's ready for the rest of the team. Now, you may notice he's level 47 and he's still a goddamn Slowpoke. Well, there's a reason for that, which we'll get to a bit later. However, there's also... You can't see him? Wait, is the stream screwed up? Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh god. Yeah, I'm not super up on my Marvel. I'm aware generally of what Drax is, because that was the nickname suggested by chat. No worries, HD. I'm also making a further adjustment because I've been thinking it over, and Golden Eyes has been doing a lot of good work, but one, I already have a Psychic type, and two, I think I might want to use him in future generations, because for those who don't know, anyone who's on our final Elite 14 goes on our duplicates list for future generations. So I'm also benching my Hypno. And in return, we are bringing back the one, the only, Revia the Nidoqueen, who has also been trained up with no mishaps in training. Unlike Solid Snake, it's fine. So let me just update my overlay real fast. Yeah. And I also want to... Crap, I forget which TM it is. Yes, Fire Blast. It's time to have a fire-breathing queen. I don't even know how useful this is going to be. I think it's funny. Now, if I'd planned this out properly, this would be going on Drax, but, oops, I taught him Surf and Strength, so... Alas. But yeah, with all that sorted out, this is pretty much going to be the team. So, our level cap is level 50 for this week, but all we have to do is go in and kick Giovanni's teeth in. So why don't I get started on that right away? I really hope there's nothing stupid, like I need cut to get in the gym or something. That would be infuriating. Wait, where is the gym? Directions, how do you work? No HMs required. Okay, that is a relief. I was just kind of thinking, you know, I didn't actually check that. But that is a relief to hear. The leader returned. Oh, that's right. There's all kinds of, like, moving tiles. Well, this is just to start bullying some trainers, so we're just gonna go in, start mixing it up, avoiding using the goddamn move panels when I can, and taking them when I can't, see how it goes. Get the team a little more trained up. Thanks you. I appreciate the lurk. Oh wow, I can't even go further this way. Well, may as well fight this guy. I'm the Karate King. Your fate rests with me. Somehow I doubt that, but we shall see. Black belt. Now we do have confusion. And he shouldn't one-hit KO us, because it's not like he's hitting any weaknesses with a Machoke. And, you know, sometimes we can get some Zedward style charity. Ain't gonna complain when I got, when I'm running a Slowpoke for now. So yeah, normally it would be Zed himself going, today for, Pokeboomers, but he thought he was going to be out of town, so he kind of offered it to us both, and I was like, alright, I have a long weekend because Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let me add it. Ayah! That guy's poor. I thought we were done with these broke-ass gym trainers. Oh well. Damn and blast. Yeah, federal holidays and working in a field where they actually respect them. Because finance. That's a few guys. Interesting. But let me grab this item, which is money. It's just money. Heh, you must be running out of steam by now. Not really? The last guy didn't even touch me? Why are there so many whips in Kanto? I continue to not be okay with this. Yeah, I feel like for a long time I was working kind of garbage jobs where they would just be like, I mean, Christmas, best I can do is like half a day off. Because, you know, they'd be like retail or retail adjacent. The Stug Trio could be a problem, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and assume it has Fissure and just do a safety swap. Because Boar will have this covered. I could actually probably just Hyper Beam it to death. Borb one-hit KOs all the same. What an absolute champion. I ran out of gas. I mean, yeah, with 2 Pokemon, that seems a little... You need power to keep up with our gym leader. Well, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Ah, I'm working myself into a rage! Alright, so you have a bunch of garbage fighting Pokemon. I'll just use Confusion on it repeatedly. Hey! I always thought it was a little weird that, like... just basically gym trainers existing. Because I get the... kind of intent is to have you, like, kind of wear yourself down a little bit when you get there, but then they forget in pretty much all these gyms, and maybe they fix this in later games, I don't know. They just kind of forgot to make you unable to leave. Also, Drax is outspeeding him a choke. I know he's got 7 levels, but Jesus. There we go, that's what we like to see. Level 48, because... Psychic! There it is! There we go. Alright, Confusion. You can go ahead and fuck on off. And Drax learned Psychic. Hey, Fox. How goes? You're just in time to watch our lovely little Drax evolve into a Slowbro. Oh, and also, if Zed didn't tell you, you might notice that additional entry on casualties. Solid Snake the Arbok fainted when I was doing off-stream grinding. I had a little tribute to him, but yeah, was depressing. So look at that boy, and let me update the... Oh, I accidentally just revealed Slowbro instead of Slowpoke to begin with. Well, guess my job's already done then. Perfect. Yeah, I've been hearing that from him. But yeah, look at that. 126 defense. That is a tanky boy. He's not going to outspeed, well, anyone now that we benched our Snorlaxes, but he shouldn't need to. I get an amnesia on this guy. He'll have some serious staying power. Slowbro is another Pokemon I've never run before, so very excited to see how well it does for me in this final little stretch. You know, it's a little silly of me. I just assumed that Lapras was just going to be my only water type, but that's denying myself a lot of good Pokemon. And I could probably fish for even more, but that also involves more off-stream grinding, and I don't want another Solid Snake situation. Fair enough, and hello, Zed. How you doing? Snowed in yet? Or, actually don't know if the snow is... I don't know if the snow is supposed to have happened already, or... Yeah, I don't know exactly where it's at for y'all. Denver got like a light covering, and then today it got up to 60 and it all like melted. You know, usual pathetic Colorado winter. What? I didn't say that. Colorado has actual winters. It really doesn't. Pokemon and I, we make wonderful music together. Hey, there's this guy. You should talk to him about his Rapidash. I think you'd get along really well together, Mr. Tamer. You also have a whip. Why? Ah, nice, nice. New overlays. And, sorry, HD, I'm like, doing instant blanking. What doesn't? You are in perfect harmony. I try to. Ooh, actually had money. I mean, it kind of depends. If you get into the mountains, like, yes, absolutely. But if you're on, like, the plains or in Denver, the winters are kind of pitiful. Like, you'll have a few days or maybe even a week where it's actually, like, cold and snowy, but the rest of the time it's honestly pretty mild. But I'm used to winters way up north in North Dakota, so I'm kind of coming in with an unfair comparison point. The truly talented win with style. Plus, you know, it's kind of a meme around here that, like, half the city is just Colorado transplants, Jesus. California transplants. So, like, you know, anytime you see anyone just driving poorly in the snow, they're like, oh, where's the California license plate? Which is a little unfair, because Coloradoans are also terrible at driving in the snow. Yep. And I mean, the mountains do get plenty snowy, but, like, Denver is just far enough down in the foothills that it's not even really in the foothills. We're just high up. I lost my grip. Well, what a shame for you. I should probably... No, I don't think I'll be using Drax much against Giovanni here, so... Let me back attack this guy. Viridian Gym was closed for a long time, but now our leader is back. I mean, I feel like everywhere is terrible at driving in the snow to some extent. Though, I don't know. I think North Dakotans did generally okay. Well, Zed, it's because I think that Lapras is going to have much better coverage, and also because of tactical reasons that I don't want to reveal. Oh god. Well, I mean, if it was like Black Ice, yeah, that's always the thing. You don't know how many of them are out of town. I kind of messed up, and I can't really now, Zed, because I gave Drax Strength and Surf, so, oops. So I don't really have room for it, because I'm not giving up Psychic, and I'm not giving up Amnesia. So in an ideal world, I would have. It would have been a good idea. I was beaten? Sure. Oh, wait. That's the man. That's the man right there. Alright. I need to beat up the rest of his trainers. I don't think the move Deleter in Gen 1 lets you delete HMs. I could be wrong, though. If I am wrong, I'm gonna curse myself, because I already used Fire Blast on someone else. Super windy, going 40... Ugh. I don't miss driving in that kind of weather. I really don't. Like, I love having actual winter. I get legit seasonal affective disorder if I live somewhere where there's not winter, but I don't miss driving in that kind of winter. Your Pokemon will cower at the crack of my whip. Yeah, I think the removing HMs came later. Thank you, Avalon, for, Arbok. Too soon, man. Let me just one-hit kill you to take away the poison sting of that loss. Also, shout out to Drax for just no-selling just all of this. Oh, a Tauros! Ugh. Yeah, that almost somehow does sound preferable, somehow. Oh, well, if a Tauros is going to use Leer, then never mind. It ain't exactly, Inception 7's Tauros. And even then, we've shown that that thing is not undefeatable. It's very good, but it's not undefeatable. Youch! Whiplash! Yeah, alright, dude. Drax is probably getting close to level 50 already? Yeah, let's lead with Kobe then. Because he can either hit weaknesses or just blast them away with raw special stat. Because there's... Yeah, this guy looks like a fighting trainer. Karate is the ultimate form of martial arts. Now, I think as a former Taekwondo practitioner, I think I would agree with Sterling Archer's assessment of karate being the Dane Cook of martial arts. But I mean, it's almost kind of like splitting hairs at that point, because I respect the hell out of any form of martial arts, but like, you know, some of them definitely get overhyped. Achoo! One that I'd be very interested, you know, if it was still, in shape, and if I could find a decent instructor, would be trying, like, Krav Maga, because I know that gets talked about, like, this just ultimate martial art that's just so unstoppable in, like, modern-day media and fiction, but how true is that really? I'd be interested to find out. Because I know that gets taught to, like, is it like the Israeli Special Forces, or Spetsnaz or somebody? But, like, some, like, legit military has it in their training, which, you know, it gotta has to give it some points for, you know, some cred, I guess. Also, wow, that's all the gym trainers? I don't feel like I would have many problems However, with the change-ups I've made to my team, I do feel confident enough to go on a little side quest. Oh yeah, South Dakota can get some really, really bad blizzards sometimes. Because I have a ground type now, so I don't think the power plant in Zapdos will give me many problems, knock on wood. So, despite my words last week, I think I am going to do a little bit of bird hunting. The other two, I'm definitely just saving for our final week, Elite Four, but, you know, there's also a Thunder TM in the power plant. Might be good to snap that up. I haven't really decided who I want to put that on, but ah, god damn it. I forgot about Cut. Yeah, yeah, may do be like that sometimes up north. Moving from Florida to Seattle. Yeah. Oops. Was looking at chat and I accessed the wrong PC. April 27th. Okay. Fair enough. I'm not benching Kobe, I just need to get myself a cut bot. Which I guess my cut bot is in the other box, so. One moment. Hey there, Nappin' Fap. Been a while. You're still not getting used, but you get to escape your PC prison for a few precious minutes. Enjoy! And if you weren't around to hear my, bird reasoning last time, my thoughts on the birds, because we do give ourselves additional points for KOing the birds. We don't allow them being our, actual catch for the areas they're in. But in terms of not rushing to them right away, it just increases your risk for no real gain. Because since we can't use them, you don't get the benefit of getting a legendary early under our challenge rules. And since you're at a lower level, you increase your risk of, well, I'm sorry to name names, but what happened to Zed in his gameplay, where he lost his Jolteon. Because the longer you wait to do that, the birds aren't going anywhere in-game. It just gets a little bit safer each time as you go along. Oh wait, the Pokemon Center is down there, not... Oops. Good old Vimbert's sense of direction. Striking yet again. Eventually, I may learn to navigate and such. Today is not that day. In your hubris! Pretty much. Nice! Good on you, Valen. Oh, right, I put it in the... yeah. Change the box. Which one is Shocker? I don't think I remember that one. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, having to drive through blizzards, never good. Never good. Oh, you're using a Magneton? Interesting. I guess I could surf on Drax, too. The freedom! Oh wait, and did I need any healing? No, okay. Because I caught a Magnemite, but I just kind of immediately went, ugh, and decided no thank you. Are you a... Oh, okay, right. I had to fight that guy to get in here. Did he? Huh. Don't mind me, apparently just suffering from memory loss. The ravages of age! Now, I have already had a capture in here, so we will just be KOing everything in here. Shocker killed the Snorlax. Good! All Snorlaxes must die! Because I don't... Oh yeah, Blizzard has such low... Yeah. Rio's not going to be great for taking on random encounters in here, come to think of it. Ravia will definitely be, though, and I don't think I'll be getting much use out of a Nidoqueen fighting Giovanni, so this is her show now. Oh hey, it's a Pikachu! I don't think that's a very common encounter, even for in here. Alas, it must die. Now hopefully I can avoid getting... Oh, right. Level 40! Okay, you're probably going to explode on my ass. Unless I one-hit KO you? Hey. Not bad. So I need to use that Carbos. Which... Garbage Chew. I need to remind myself which one Carbos is again. Is that special? That is speed. Okay. Who needs more speed? Kobe occasionally gets outsped in PvP. And that ain't good, because that's his main strength. As a glass cannon is to hit fast and hard. Another Pikachu. They're like, oh, Vimbert, are you sure you really want to fight this bird? It's not doing anything to anyone. Let us repeatedly throw the mascot in your way. I'm like, I care not for your distractions. We're out here to commit poke crime. That is thunder? That's one I already had? What? Oh, reflect. Okay. Should I put reflect on somebody? Could be on Kobe. I guess I could get rid of recover. Because he gets damaged too heavily by anything for recover to matter in like PvP. Yeah, let's do it. Hopefully this isn't a horrible mistake, but eh. Yeah, I must have bought it. Let's delete Psychic. That's not a specific dog at UZ. I've picked on you enough for one stream. Yeah, I think as part of my item management last week, I intended to teach Kobe that, but I think I forgot. Or something like that. Might have helped me out a little bit. Of course it's a Voltorb. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, particularly with Snorlaxes off the table, a lot of the physical attackers that are left, although I'm sure both of you are going to swap out your teams a fair bit, are speedy boys that crit a lot, so Reflect will end up being probably not that useful, but Recover has legitimately not been helpful in any way. Oh hey, Electabuzz. If only you had been my capture from the power plant, maybe I could have made use of you. Alas, you must die. And the crits? Review's like, I'm so glad to be back. Please never put me back in that PC hell. I don't know if sucked was accurate. I think you did fine. I mean, you did manage to beat me. Narrowly. Okay, seriously, game, how many of these are Voltorbs? Yeah, I don't remember clearly, but I think last week, after I grabbed a Magnemite out of here, I think I ran into an Electabuzz before I left the power plant. That sounds vaguely familiar. But I could be making that up. Yeah, Catloaf was... I was expecting a little more from Catloaf, too, for sure. He was always in the back of my mind, and like I was talking with the tacticians like, hey, what is my game plan versus this thing? But then he was just kind of like, Wait. Was sad to see, because I know he was one you were looking forward to as well. Ah, high encounter rates. Gotta hate them. Particularly when it's just trash. Probably gonna have to swap Revia off the front lines just to conserve her rock slides for Zapdos. Yeah, unfortunately he's not, say, 6's Venusaur. Sadly. Okay, Thunder. So who do I have that can actually learn Thunder? Bugtoad? Which... interesting, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best move. Rhea, which I already have Thunderbolt on, and Revia. Huh. I'm gonna have to think about that one some. Would have been cool if Kobe could have learned it. But alas. Yeah, Bugtoad would be good, but it's just kind of like, what would I get rid of? Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. It's just like, I feel like I have a really good moveset on Lapras right now, because I've got Surf, Ice Beam, Confuse Ray. What is my fourth move on Bugtoad? Oh, yeah, I can probably lose Hydro Pump for Thunder. Yeah. Yeah, let's make that canon. Let's be super cool like Hugh and have an electric move on our water type. So long, Hydro Pump. Delete Psychic, that's what I did. I mean, it was a bold play, and I respect it, but I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know. I almost feel like, I know you don't lay out your streams quite the same as me, but I feel like I would have listed that as a casualty. Like, just alongside Pidgey and Arbok, I would have just, like, written Psychic. Or Psychic TM or something. Because, oof, that would have discouraged the hell out of me. In fact, had I been you and not done... Well, wait. Did that happen on stream for you? If it happened off stream, I probably would have just pretended it never happened. Also, this place is... that's definitely a Voltorb, but just in case. Hello, little man. Are you ready for the death you've earned? Oh, quick attack. Understandable. And I don't... Oh well, it's fine. We need some levels. It's all good. As I'm confident I can dodge the insta-kill moves that Giovanni's gonna toss our way. Supremely confident, in fact. Is Electabuzz good? I think he is, but I didn't even look. Fire Blast doesn't... Wow. Guess I do tend to forget. Revia is a better attacker than Specialer. Oh well. Ooh, HP up. You get one guess who that's going on. If you guessed anyone else, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I feel like it's been something of a struggle to, well, granted, I took Dratini over Eevee, but I feel like it's been a little bit of a struggle to find good electric types. Like, I've run into, in terms of a Nuzlocke at least. Electivire? Is that like an evolution it gets in a later gen? Or an Alolan thing or something? Please do forgive me, I don't know these things. Or it could be some very specific autocorrect too, I suppose. Gen 4, okay. I always have mixed feelings on them adding more evolutions to old Pokemon in new gens. It's, I don't know. Kind of nice that they give you a bonus for using an old favorite, but at the same time, like, just make new Pokemon rather than... Okay, that's bad, because I have Kobe and you're an Electrode! Super! Okay, so... Drax. Drax can 100% soak that explosion. Congratulations, Drax, you're the new Cuck Phanto. There it is! 40 damage. Drax is like, oh, am I done already? Also, I was expecting Electrode to be a little more XP than that. Yeah, barely a scratch. I'm having a thought now. I am not sure I have an escape rope. God damn it. Well, there's our target. Let me go ahead and turn battle animations on for this. Heal Revia. Yes, have some delicious lemonade. There's an exit right by Zapdos? Oh, perfect. That's great. Thank you, Valen. Alright. Special's not great, but you got that ground type. We have Rock Slide, so we can super effective it that way. Accuracy might be a little questionable, but we've got 10 shots. I'm guessing it's only going to take, you know, at worst, 3 to 4 Rock Slides to down Zapdos. And Revia can rest if she gets hit by some flying nonsense, so... This feels fairly safe to me. I think we're good. Alright, you anime spiky bird thing. Let's rumble. Level 50. You are weapons free, Revia. Fire. Why does it sound like a psychic move? Oh, wow. Oh, there's Drill Peck. How bad does that hurt? More than I would like, but I appear to be faster, so... And bye-bye. Thank you very much for your contribution. That is... Now, I need to double-check for my sake. Zapdos is 10 points, which brings me to a total of 280 currently, because I did have to take off the points for Solid Snake dying, unfortunately. Oh yeah, wow, it's right here. That's great. Oh, I love that. That's wonderful. Hmm. That also didn't... I thought it would be a bit more than that. And I'm counting on Bug Tote to be my main sweeper for Giovanni. So... I think I need to get Bug Tote at least one more level, just to make sure. And then we go and fight him. So sorry, we will be going grinding podcast mode for a little bit. Also, if anyone was looking forward to the War Room streams and such, I already know that the guys are changing up their teams by a lot, and I'm expecting Giovanni to go down, like, very quickly and embarrassingly, so on the one hand, I feel like it's not worth hyping it up for Giovanni, and on the other hand, I don't really have enough information to make guesses about what Zed or Hugh's teams are going to be, so I'm not having them this time. So I also don't have a great idea of my chances. This is the first time I'm going to, like, finish first for the week, because I do plan on getting all the way through it tonight, right here, right now with you all. So usually at least Zed has at least finalized this team, so I have some idea. And I can usually make a decent guess at Hugh, but Hugh has shown more and more that he's willing to grind off stream for members he may or may not use. Big shoutouts to his Marowak. Uh, so, your guess is as good as mine, I feel like. Yeah, I'm sure not. Like, you could rebust out, like, Eradicate and, like, man, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what else you have in your reserves, and I'm blanking. Eradicate is the replacement for, the inferior normal physical type attacker. I have no idea. But I'm looking forward to Weird. I like Weird. We've been getting, just a little too samey with our teams, I feel like. Which is also part of why I benched the Hypno, because on the inside I am just a goddamn hipster. And I don't want to do the thing that everyone else is doing. Interesting. Well, I shall be watching your stream tomorrow with great interest. And you all should too. Give, well, it's not Zeward OG, it's play together, stay together, but you can get a heads up on when that's going to happen tomorrow in our Discord, if you want to follow along. If you mute the bot channels, it's a pretty good time. We post memes, complain about off-stream grinding and gambling, generally hang out. It's a good time. But yeah, my strategy, to give a little bit of a preview of my strategy for Giovanni, basically, I just sweep with Bug Tote. Like, Surf is going to absolutely dunk on most of his Pokemon, and the only one I'm even remotely concerned about is his Ace. And even then, I feel like Bug Tote will do just fine. His Ace is the only one that has insta-kill moves. But I'm betting it will go down before it becomes a problem. And also, if I do want to be, well, swapping into Borb only negates one of two, because it knows Horn Drill and Fissure. Still, that would provide me with an additional, like, safeguard. So that might have to be on the table as well. Still, I don't think it'll be needed. I got faith in Bug Tote. They've been a very, very good Pokemon, through and through. Because for a while I was kind of questioning my decision to have them be my main water type rather than Hailbell, my Squirtle. Well, Wartortle now. But it's worked out extremely well. And I know a lot of people like Blastoise. Heck, I like Blastoise, but I just don't feel like I'd be doing as well as I currently am. It definitely feels weird to have benched my starter. I haven't really stopped to think about it that much, but sort of a weird move in Pokemon, I feel. But I've done it, and I don't know. This is all about trying different things. Maybe it's a little more normal in later generations, perhaps. You know, with your mega evolutions and whatnot. All those mechanics that I have no idea about. I'm sure in particular with like the whole internal values and stuff, you could get a starter that's just garbage, and you're like, well, I can just use it for now and bring in a better one later. Sans is still in the PC. Oh man. Big Sans. A fellow risker of DMCAs. Though I don't know how aggressive Toby Fox is about that stuff. I don't think, like, incredibly. Not a terribly public figure these days, ironically, but seems pretty chill about a lot of things, and, you know, started his career as, at least in part, a fan musician, so I feel like he would be one to understand, to like, do a little bit of a snippet thing, even if you're, like, just kind of on the verge of, like, is that fair use? I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm sure his Sword and Shield song is because that's Nintendo, and Nintendo is incredibly aggressive about that sort of thing. I mean, you know, as you might have seen if you came in early in the stream, for the first couple minutes I generally like to let whatever title theme is kind of run for a little bit. If I go over like 20 seconds of just letting the menu theme play of the Pokemon theme, when I put these VODs on YouTube, this is a little bit of behind the scenes peek, it gets copyright struck, and I have to like edit that part out. And then the game's like, oh yeah, the rest of this is fine, but I'm like, what? Why are we? Okay. And I mean, I know you have to protect your copyright, but you have to accept a little bit more of a laissez-faire approach. These days, I feel, you know, unless you're already huge like Nintendo and Pokemon, participating in like the remix culture and letting streamers and influencers kind of do stuff with that is kind of like how you get free exposure these days, I feel like. Yeah, the battle song. I remember you talking about that. Well, I am going to remember to turn on battle animations. Yeah, we've not been at this very long, but I really don't want to risk over-leveling, just in case the guys could bust out something crazy with that kind of breathing room. So, I'm going to save, just in case IRL Revia decides to run along and step on the... and swat at the power strip power button. It still hasn't happened yet, but I know that the one time I'm not prepared for it, she's going to do it. Yeah. Bug toad. Should be safe, should be safe. And I think... well... Orb is not the most defensive boy. Maybe Rhea is the alternate. Yeah, because Rhea has Blizzard. Yeah, I think Rhea might be my swap-in if it looks like Bugtoad's in trouble. But, you know, hey, maybe I lose a Pokemon to one-hit KO. That is the gamble we take. And with that said, let's finish bullying a Pokemafia boss. Haha, this is my hideout. I planned to resurrect Team Rocket here, but you have caught me again. So be it. This time I'm not holding back. Once more you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer. Yeah, alright, dude. Like, respect for what you're trying to do with your whole organization, but it's flawed. It's time for new blood to take over, old man. And yes, nobody point out the irony of me saying that. Bugtoad, kill! I forgot Surf's animation is pretty extra. There's one. Ah, Doug Trio. Oh! Okay. We'll actually take a hit. Well, that's fine. Oh, you absolute bastard! On his vulnerability turn, he used an item. I didn't know you could do that! That's hilarious! Anyway, goodbye, Doug Trio. Nidoqueen. I used one of you myself, but you're going down to Surf. Well, just my bizarre luck, I guess. Alright, there he is, Nidoking. He... Oh, wait, does he have 2 Nidokings? I thought this was... Anyway. Hi, have you met my friend Surf? And now you're all washed up. I'll see myself out. Rhydon, that's right, this is the one. Now, I'm confident Bugtoad can take him down before he can pose too much of a threat. And even if we see the one-hit KO moves, they are only 30% shot. That is really bad odds in Pokemon. So this is taking a little bit of risk. But Bugtoad, use Surf. Also, Rhydon's special is garbage, so down he goes! How does it feel to be humiliated in your lair, old man? That was a truly intense fight. You have won. As proof, here is the Earth Badge. But this is a Nuzlocke, so it's 100%. Yeah, pretty much. The Earth Badge makes Pokemon of any level obey. It is evidence of your mastery as a Pokemon trainer. With it, you can enter the Pokemon League. It is my gift for your Pokemon League challenge. And TM27. TM27 is Fissure. It will take out Pokemon with just one hit. I made it when I ran the gym here. Too long ago. Yes, back in those days, I was on top... Okay, bye! Yeah, I know it's banned. It would be kind of funny to use it in the Elite Four, though, right? So, yeah, let me update my Nuzlocke records. That is a gym victory without a single loss, thanks to the raw power of Bugtoad. I wouldn't even try. Yeah, the accuracy's real bad, not that they bother to tell you that. So, now the only thing left on my docket, because my team is at this point locked in, so I could go into Victory Road and get an encounter there, but it wouldn't do me any good. Team is locked in for PvP, that is. We are just going to fly back on over to Cinnabar and chat and level a little bit. Probably be a little bit of a shorter stream. But if you check out now, I completely understand, because it's just going to be murdering Ponyta over and over and over, so if you're a horse level, maybe go the other way. If you do head out at this point, thank you for stopping by, and appreciate you sharing a little bit of your day with me. Flying is real nice. It's so convenient. Do you not have flying? I actually did mean to ask you that, Zed. Do you not have anything in your PC box that you could just teach fly to and like use that to shuttle yourself around with and then just shove it in the PC when you were ready for gym time? Kind of like I've been doing with Nap and Fap and Cut. Oh, only in the grave. Just Baron Bird, huh? Ugh, that's rough. Oh. Sorry, I heard a weird noise in the background, but it turns out it's just... about something nice for Revy the cat, and it keeps breaking. I need to just throw it away. Golbat can't learn fly? That is dumb. Sorry, the thing is it's a kind of little, like, cat window tray thing for them to like hang out so they can look out and watch, and it's a piece of garbage and keeps slowly falling down from the window. So, you know, that was money well spent. I'm not bitter. It's probably been too long to return it now, too. Because they made it just well enough that it wouldn't break for a while, but now it's basically worthless. Revia won't even hop on it, because one of the things partially fell apart on her at one point, so it scared the shit out of her. Understandably. Because, you know, she is... I don't remember if I've talked about this on stream. My cat is, She's for the most part perfectly healthy, but she does have an underlying health condition. I kind of simplify it as kitty AIDS, but more properly it's FLV, feline leukemia virus positive. And now usually that dramatically shortens a cat's lifespan. And, you know, you can't have them around cats that aren't infected with that, or it'll just result in another infected cat. So I only have Revia, but it's in remission, sorry, not in remission, in regression for Revia, so her body is, like, actively fighting that off, but I've noticed that she's very, like, sensitive to, like, falling a little too far, or, like, changes to her environment, so I try and, like, coddle her a little bit as best I can. So, you know, I'd feel really bad if she hopped up on this thing and it dumped her down to the floor, and that got her hurt. Because, you know, her system's a little bit busy fighting off this thing that she was probably born with as a kitten. But for the most part, she's perfectly fine. Like, you know, doesn't pose any risk to me, and is just, she's got a little bit lower energy, so she likes to be a lap kitty. But people tend to not like adopt cats that have that, and I think that's really unfortunate. Because, you know, not only do they have this, these kind of health conditions, but also they're just stuck in shelters for so long. So, when I was getting a cat, I didn't leave the FLV ones off my list. I kind of tried to prioritize them a bit. And granted, Revia has a really mild form, but, like, I've had cats before who... I've lost 2 cats to kidney failure, and that was really difficult to watch. But, you know, I've been in that spot before of having a very sick pet. And for Evia, it's not that bad. It might get worse as she ages, but... You know, I've experienced at least something similar. Anyway, my point is, if you're gonna adopt a cat, don't just ignore those poor babies that are in, that are marked as, positive for some of these chronic conditions. They need love too. Yeah, I'm doing my best. She's got a lot of room to explore, a lot of windows where she can watch the outside. She was a former stray, she's got that clipped ear, so she likes watching the squirrels that run around in my backyard, probably fantasizing about hunting them down and bring them to me as gifts, you know. Just casually drop a dead squirrel on my bed. That's absolutely something the little stinker would do. But that's the fun of a cat. Inject a little more chaos into your life. Because I feel like if things get too stagnant, that's kind of, that is, at best, a real shame. And being a guy who works from home, things can get a little static or samey around here. So, it's good to have a cat who's just like, hey, this is about me now. And I'm like, oh, wait, what are you doing? It's nice. Anyway, enough about that slightly depressing topic. I hope y'all are having a good evening. Thank you for hanging around for a little bit of grinding time. Don't know how long we'll go on this, if it'll be the whole team up to 50. And I think the Pokemon Mansion is still our best location for that. Maybe Victory Road would be better, but I know the encounter table's like pretty well down pat in here. And a lot of the team is very good against the Pokemon in here, so we'll just continue depopulating this fragile island ecosystem for our own profit and gain. I'm kind of thinking ahead now, because I might have exploding Gravelers. Okay, screw that. Yeah, we don't need that negativity in our life. I won't have it. I mean, it'll probably be really easy to level up Drax when we get there, though, because he'll just look at the explosion and it's like, oh, that's 20 of my HP that's gone. Huh. Everyone else might have a little bit more of a problem with it, though. Also, I know Graveler's a little faster than normal for Rock-type Pokemon, but they're not that fast. So I could probably one-hit KO him with Bug-Toad as well, but kind of feel like why take the chance? I'd like to, ideally, if I can, keep my KOs this run to just 2. Alright, that is our level cap of 50. So who is up next? How about Kobe? He'll probably just go until he's out of Psychics, realistically, but 10 Psychics is probably 10 kills. Probably. As illustrated. We don't need no stinking super effective on him. Though it is nice. But I'm just thinking ahead. It's like the podcasts, like... what do I say? I beat Zapdos, I beat Giovanni, Bug-Toad OP. That's it, there. Tiny sneak preview of the Friday podcast. Nah, I'll probably I have a few more words to say, but probably not. Like, you know, we're getting towards the end here, and we've chopped it up in a very artificial way, I guess. I mean, in a way, it's natural to do, like, ending at every gym, but it's varied a lot what stuff we have to get done each week, which has been interesting, but also frustrating. I think trying to plan out how to stream this, because, you know, some weeks I felt like I could barely get everything done in 2 3-hour streams, and now we're oops, that was the wrong button. Now we're done in less than an hour. I mean, not 100% done, but done with the actual content, the actual challenge. I'm hoping that as we move forward, because Pokeboomers is going to do Gen 2, Gen 3, etc. I hope it gets a little more even. And I know the other guys keep talking, well, mostly just you, saying horrible things about Gen 2, but I feel like Gen 2 is going to be a little more even for that. Because generally speaking, you've got like a route, maybe 2, maybe some kind of dungeon type area, cave or something. Then you have a gym. That's like fairly consistent. And then there's the week where we'll be back in Kanto, which will just be complete, absolute anarchy from what we've been talking about. Because little difficult to plan out level caps when, you know, the levels of all the gym leaders are probably under where you're gonna be. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting, Zed. Good up till the end, then grinding hell. Because I remember all the times I played Gen 2 as a kid, you know, the fight with Red being so epic and so hype, but, you know, having to just chug max revives and hyper potions every which way, just truly throwing everything at the wall that I had to try and win against this legendary trainer, which is probably the intended experience, but for us to have any chance, you know, with not using items and stuff, we're probably going to have to do a lot of prep. Also, just the looming threat of permadeath. I don't know, Nuzlocke makes you play the game in weird ways. It's been interesting to witness, because I've never done a full... I mean, still haven't, we're not done. I've never done a full Nuzlocke run of a Pokemon game before. I've started them, certainly. Mostly Gen 2 on Crystal on my 3DS. But mostly just a lot of just kind of blundering through, doing whatever, and then getting walled by, you know, Whitney, or I think a gym leader or two after, where I just wasn't prepared enough, and just my whole team gets wiped out, and I'm like, well, do I just start over, or... It's made me appreciate the randomizers and roguelikes and roguelites that I play on occasion, because those feel a little more fair. I know it's like you have so much time built in that you almost get the sunk cost fallacy, where you're like, you want to try and make it work, but you are also really afraid of it not working, so you end up spending a lot of time on, like, safety plays. I've kind of been trying to avoid that as much as I reasonably can, and oh, Psychic Mist. Interesting. As much as I reasonably can, given the need to keep everybody at, you know, level parity and all that. Because, you know, I didn't get everyone to, like, level 49 and then go into Giovanni or something. But just because of the nature of the beast, there's only so much you can do there. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. And we certainly do need this kind of level parity? Level equity? I can't think of which is the precisely correct term, but for everyone to be at the same level going into our delightful PvP matches, which I do love a lot. I think it's definitely the coolest part of this, because, you know, otherwise we could have just been all, like, going at the same time and, like, live chatting as we went, which also would have been cool, but the PvP adds a whole new dimension to it. And there's been some good, and there's been some bad, I think. Mixed bag. On the whole, I would say good, but it just changes how you have to approach everything. And I don't know that I was wholly prepared for that when I started this, because I've never done any type of competitive Pokemon anything before. And I hadn't played Pokemon outside of a few, like, partial runs, like, oh, maybe I play Pokemon, and then I get to, like, the 4th gym and quit. In, like, a decade before I started this playthrough, so... I very much had... There was a disconnect between my expectations and the reality. I don't know if that's interesting to hear a lot. Seems a little self-indulgent to talk about the struggles with the project, as I'm just playing fucking Pokemon. Stop taking yourself so goddamn seriously, Vim. And I think it'll also be, I almost want to, like, save for myself a little clip of every time I've complained about Gen 1 and then go back to it a while later after we played through some more. Just to see, you know, how much of that was kind of me having too high of expectations, because it's kind of interesting. I feel like this game gets very retroactively hyped because so many people just absolutely love Gen 1, and I totally understand the reasons why, you know. Very nostalgic for lots of people, introduced a lot of just iconic Pokemon. I mean, this is the gen that has Pikachu, for God's sake. You know, part of the childhood of a lot of people around my age. But then it's been interesting talking to a few people, you know, a few of the tacticians, the people who advised me on, like, some PvP decisions, and my own little brother, all of whom, to an extent or another, really like Gen 1, and one of the first questions that I always got when I kind of explained to them how Pokeboomers was going to go was, "Are you doing the original games?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, one of us is doing red, one's doing blue, one's doing yellow," and they all went, almost invariably, all went, "Ooh," because the expectation was Fire Red and Leaf Green, which I've never touched. I hear great things about it, but never experienced myself. Because it has those quality of life improvements. So I think it's just mostly people loving Kanto rather than the game systems, which is totally fair. Kanto's cool. I complain about it, but the actual like region itself is really neat. It's got some good to it. Particularly in terms of being non-linear. It really, some of that was lost just because I had to have an idea of what I was doing, but it captures that feeling of, being just some kid, like let loose on the world, go wherever, go to whatever city you want. To an extent, Game opens up after Misty, as we've seen and has been explained. And I feel like in Gen 2, and from what I can remember of Black and White, because I did partially play through that, you lose that a little bit. They kind of try to emphasize it with, the gradual power build that you get, which also results in a little more even of difficulty scaling, because they don't have to plan on, oh, well, what if the player goes here, like, way before they're supposed to? Because they can. But you're more restricted later on. I don't know, does that make sense? It's got non-linearity without being like some Ubisoft collect 500 of the musical notes, climb towers nonsense that so quickly loses my interest for a lot of games of that type, where it's just collectibles for the sake of collectibles and open world for the sake of open world without actually doing anything with the open world. Whereas with these games, there was very clearly like, they intended, just kind of roam and like explore and like discover new Pokemon, put them onto your team. What benefits do they give them? Do you like the way this one looks? You can totally use it. Build your own party. Whereas the others, it's like, oh well, you get the achievement for finding all the special statues. I don't know. Main takeaway is just Vimper don't really like a lot of open world games. Usually I'm very excited at first, because, the early part is usually where they have some kind of story and strong hook to really get you in, but then the middle, where they're just kind of like, okay, go crazy! And I'm like, oh, I guess I can do any one of these repetitive tasks all the way across the map? Liberate strongholds, do missions, steal things for the Thieves Guild, whatever have you. And I feel like in open world games, there's always going to be stuff that you have the option to do that you don't like doing, that it's not fun. And so you end up ignoring some of that, or feeling like you have to because it gives you whatever benefit. And, I don't know, it just leads to an experience I don't really want to have or waste my time on. Like, I would say one of my favorite games that has a kind of open world exploration aspect to it ever is a JRPG that's very much not open world, It ain't no Genshin Impact. It's Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King, where their whole selling point was like it had been this very, traditional JRPG for a long time. Go from town to town. You can't really deviate from the path too much. And they opened it up a lot more, like just had these wilderness areas where you could find like some optional challenges to take on and like more treasure. But they never made that the central focus of what you were supposed to do into the game. It supplemented, the story and the challenge. It gave you more tools for dealing with stuff. And that felt fantastic. I really liked that. And it was really cool just kind of slowly building up my RPG stats and slowly ranging out further and further to seeing, what was kind of around the towns that could help me out, what crazy battles in the wild I could get to against these optional bosses. That felt good as a side activity when the open world was like a side task in and of itself rather than the main point. That and paradoxically, uh, if you watch me stream for any length of time, you know I get lost really easily. So this is going to seem deeply ironic for me of all people to say. I like it more when open worlds don't give us very obvious maps and map markers and things like that. It might result in some more frustration for me in the short term, but you get some of that exploration and discovery back. You know? Let me silently sip my whiskey. In case it wasn't clear, I am not doing the grinding podcast part of it this completely sober. Certainly not to the level of boyfriend dungeon, but just quietly enjoy a drink on a nice Sunday night, hang out with y'all. Whatever time it may be for you. Hope you're having a good one. I did want to talk a little bit, some housekeeping stuff, I guess, because I know not everyone is part of the Discord that I share with Hugh and Zed and some other folks, or follows me on Twitter, which totally fine. I completely understand. And you might not be checking my schedule page. I am changing some things up because I'm doing the Nuzlocke tonight. Tuesday, I'm going to do another one of those shuffle streams that I was supposed to have yesterday. But I'm also adding a little twist to it. If you haven't seen those before, I load all the games I can stream into just a big old random number generator, and it spits out a game where I have to play for the next half hour. And we'll be doing some of that, but I also found a program where if you load up emulators, and I have secured some emulators for this, the program will automatically switch between one of those emulators at whatever time you want, and you can randomize it. So I think I might set it to between like 7 seconds and like 7 minutes. So I might be on a game for a little bit, and then whoops, it's switching to a game that's a little more action oriented, and I have to adjust on the fly. I think that'd be really fun to see. And a lot of those are games that kind of the hidden gems, I would say, ones that I had fun with or y'all watching along really enjoyed. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be doing as a more regular thing going forward, playing a game called The Good Life, which is from a Japanese game developer called Swery, who he's been called the poor man's Hideo Kojima before, which I think is a little unfair, but it's not entirely inaccurate. It's a little bit like being inside the head of a crazy person, witnessing the stories he tells, but his games are truly just like nothing else. You probably, if you've heard of him at all, you've heard of the game he made for the 360, and it was later ported to some more stuff, Deadly Premonition, where it was like you as a cop investigating a serial murder in really weird, mind-bending ways. Like, I just finished playing the sequel off stream, and it features the same FBI agent, and when he, discovers, oh, this murder's happened, I guess I'm taking over the case because I'm FBI. Instead of inspecting the body, the first thing he does is witness the hallucination of some kind of voodoo shaman speaking to him and telling him that he has to go bowl a strike at the local bowling alley and, God, what is the other thing? Do something else that's not really that important. But it's a lot of, like, weird classic and adventure game, just insanity as you do things in completely roundabout, incomprehensible ways, and it's held together by really clever writing. So The Good Life is about like some photographer going to an English town, and it sounds like really cozy and laid back. I think that'll be good for the middle of the week, and I kind of want to get back to like playing games that are a little heavier on story. You know, kind of have continuing series. I know those don't always have the biggest draw, but they're what I really like to play. So hopefully y'all will at least give that a chance. So that's going to be Wednesday. And Friday, of course, will be the Pokeboomers podcast on Hugh Gaming's channel. Then Saturday, we'll be doing a more regular shuffle stream like the one I missed yesterday. And the part of me actually playing the Pokemon games on Tuesday will probably go back to more a normal thing. We are going to be taking a break after we beat the Elite Four in Gen 1 for at least a couple weeks. I'm still working out what I'm going to be doing on Tuesdays for those couple of weeks. Hugh and I are talking about kind of an idea, something to play together. But that'll be a little bit TBD. So, not 100% sure what to do for that yet. I'll find something. So many games out there, so little time. So there's definitely going to be something I want to play. Or, you know, I could fill the time with incredibly cursed Barbie Game Boy Color games again. Because we've done that before. It was suffering, but we've done that before. I've also been considering, for YouTube, putting together some shorter, pre-recorded stuff that's not just the stream VODs. Still not 100% sure what I want to do with that exactly. That's something I need to figure out. But I feel like, YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, I don't forget about you, I appreciate you. I feel like they get shafted a little bit just because they get the VODs, you know, they can't interact with me live. I don't know. I want to do a little, at least a little something. Give them something further. Show the appreciation. Show the love. Though I guess I could stream on YouTube sometimes, but that feels kind of counterproductive, splitting the live stream stuff between two different sites. And I know there are ways to stream to both at the same time, but I think both Daddy Bezos and oh god, what's the YouTube woman? What's their CEO's name? Whoever. Google. I don't think they like that too much. So I'd rather not risk that. Seems like kind of a dumb move to make. I also might stream something tomorrow, maybe. I do have the whole day off work. So I might do something. I haven't decided what yet, if anything. More than likely, I'll probably just take the entire day to be lazy. Shop for some groceries. I've been a few days overdue on that. But just watch this space, just in case. Maybe a little bit of a taste of, like, Deadly Premonition, just to give people an idea of what they're in for on Wednesday. Though to get the full experience of Deadly Premonition, you really have to play the whole game. Though the beginning gives you some idea. I also don't know if that game plays well with my capture software. Because the PC version of that game is extremely, cantankerous, to say the least, and I have been encountering some minor computer problems. My mouse in particular is just starting to decide that I think it's a physical issue with it. It's just right-clicking at random, or I'll just do like one press and release right-click, and it'll hold down right-click because it gets stuck or something. so I don't know what's going on with that, but it may not be a good idea to get too heavily on the anything PC gaming. I do have... Borb, seriously? You never miss this much. I do have a replacement mouse coming, because I can get, of course, better rates online than I can from the shops in town, but, you know, the shops in town are all big chains anyway, so, eh. I mean, that's probably not true. I live in Denver, for God's sake. There's bound to be some independent PC shop out there that's just dying for customers and has reasonable prices, and I don't know it exists, and it feels bad that I don't, and I'm ignoring it. But sadly, I've only got so much time to devote to looking up such things. Rhea, honey, please, I need you to connect with an attack. Thank you. Also, wrap grinding is, yeah, let's just try and murder it with Blizzard. That's better. Might be a little bit better of an idea to try and just fight things in Seafoam Islands or something. Somewhere where there's a lot of water, where I can just thunderbolt everything to death. Electrocutions en masse. I'm pretty sure I thought, when I recruited Dratini, Rhea, that the Dragonite evolution was at 50. But it's not. It's 55. I think that might have changed in later... Like, maybe that's different? I don't know. I never properly ran a Dratini. But for some reason, I had it in my head that it was level 50. I can probably lay the blame at Gen 2 Lance's feet for that. But, oh well. For the Elite Four, my long-suffering Dragonair, which has been getting memed on repeatedly in our PvP matches, will have a chance to shine at last. And gain a ×4 weakness to ice, which I'm sure will get exploited to hell and back. But nobody's perfect. Hopefully raw stats will be enough to save her. Hopefully. Ooh, paralysis. Nice. Very cool, very cool. Well, clearly Rhea is not going to be as fast, and I got 4 Pokemon left to run through the gamut, so I think I might finish the rest of this grinding off stream. Yeah, like I said, shorter stream tonight. You know, all we had to do was T-pose on Giovanni, and that was really not that difficult, as you saw, so I think I will start to wrap it up here. Thank you for hanging out and spending a little bit of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it may be for you. I appreciate your company. If you're watching the VODs after the fact, I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for dropping by. I think we will give a raid to my friend Brian, who looks like he's playing The Binding of Isaac. He also runs a kind of like wrestling mini game with gambling. It's a fun time. That's, you know, me, the gambling addict, talking. But I will be back possibly tomorrow, for sure Tuesday. I will see you then. Go and say hi to my buddy Brian. Good dude, known him for a while. Always looking to grow his channel, and runs an entertaining stream. Anyway, my name is Vimbert. I'll see you around the internets. You have yourself a good one.